Is the media completely compromised as journalists are implicated at the State Capture Commission? And can the DA forge a united front after their head of policy calls it quits with elections only weeks away? I'm Nicholas Bauer, connecting the dots for you on this Sunday. The Politburo is now in session. First up, more jaw-dropping testimony at the State Capture Commission with Angelo Agrizzi implicating journalists. The former BOSASA director claims several journalists received cash bribes to report favourably on the company and its dealings with government.
And he was paying journalists and people from Lindela.
He was paying journalists as well?
Correct.
To do what?
Chair, to give information and to work with them.
The media has not had an easy time as of late. At the end of 2018, South African journalists faced stiff criticism from the economic freedom fighters who claim that reporters are biased and embedded.
Once you descend to the arena, you begin to campaign for certain politicians. You begin to campaign for specific agendas. We have the right to come for you, to disagree with you, to expose you as a person that is standing against our ideological objectives. You're not doing an unbiased, independent, above-board journalistic article. That's not what you're doing.
The media always casts itself as the defender of democracy and upholder of South Africa's constitution. But is it completely above reproach? South African National Editors Forum chairperson Mitole joins us in studio alongside analyst Edward Mitole. Let me start with you, Mitole. Is SANEF worried about these allegations? And if so, what exactly are you going to do about them?
We are very worried about these allegations simply because they've cast aspersion on the entire industry. As you know, Agrizzi did not name any particular journalist. So me and you sitting here, there are people looking at us and wondering are we on that list of journalists that are actually being paid?
But isn't that the problem essentially? If SANEF's not seen to do anything and to wait, everybody's a suspect.
Exactly, that is our concern, and that's why part of the meeting that we had with the Zondo Commission was to raise this particular issue. First of all, we wanted to find out if this was within their terms of reference. They have assured us that it actually is, and they actually will be investigating. We think that they are the right body to actually investigate, and we are hoping that they could be able to give us some leads on this, and it will be part of those investigations. Because, as you say, we don't want to be going into an election with this dark cloud hanging over us, where people want to hit at us with this unknown list of journalists. And we have to also be fair and honest. I mean, the fact that Agrizzi did not name journalists, it doesn't mean all the journalists in South Africa were therefore implicated. And we've been asking ourselves good questions around when last did anybody see a positive story on BOSASA? And we want to go back and look for those. Maybe they could be giving us clues, because we know that for the past 13 years, the media has been exposing the corrupt relationship between BOSASA and some government officials.
Let me bring you in here, Dr. Mitole. Can the media claim to be fulfilling a mandate of objectivity?
I don't know what media you are referring to. But if you are referring to the mainstream media, it is ill-positioned to fulfill that mandate, because you must understand that mainstream media, SANEF, is there to fulfill an agenda.
What agenda
and it has always been that for many centuries.
But what agenda is that?
The mainstream media exists to protect and safeguard the interests of those who own the economy. These guys are sitting at table number A, and there is another table number B. The guys who are sitting in table number A benefited from the apartheid regime, and they still control and own the economy. They have the media on their side. They have the politicians who are the gatekeepers on their side. So the role of the media is to protect the interests of those two guys who are sitting on table number A. The table number B is occupied by the guys who survive on tenders, tenderpreneurs, and they need the complicity of these politicians and the media who are playing the role of gatekeeping to survive. So that's where Agrizzi comes in. He's sitting on table number B together with Gavin Watson. So this is a game of power. You and I, Nicholas, cannot play this game because this is La Liga. It's the English Premier League. It's a game for top players. Only top players can understand this game.
We'll talk about buying influence in a moment and your experience of that. Is it time, Mhlasi, to have journalists regulated in the same way that doctors and lawyers are? If doctors and lawyers do something fundamentally unethical, they're disbarred, they cannot practice anymore. Journalists are consistently recycled.
Before I answer that, I have to respond to what he actually said. I mean, essentially, he's saying as the media, we are bought by a certain section of the society. But I always say, if you're going to generalize, and generalize to the extent that he's actually generalizing, you have to start asking ourselves, why do we have the state capture inquiry right now? It is because of the work of the media exposing the rot. You can listen to Agrizzi. A lot of the things he's saying, the media has been reporting on it for more than 10 years. You talk about Steinhoff, people will tell you that the media doesn't focus on that. But the reason South Africans know about it is because of the work of the media. You look at that whole corruption around the stadiums towards 2010. It was the media that actually exposed it. So when we actually want to say that the media is being bought by a certain section, then we shouldn't have front pages every other day exposing this corrupt relationship either between business and government, the private sector and government. We continue to do that. But when you have allegations
do you not think that there is space for criticism of the media?
Definitely space for criticism, and I'm willing to engage in that. But let's not put a blanket criticism of and forget the important role that the media has played in this country. Things like Life Isidimeni. Okay. Who actually exposed Life Isidimeni? It was the media that actually did it. So I'm just saying, don't put a blanket that says all of the media is wrong and they have not played a role in society. That does not help the criticism that must come to the media.
We'll get to how the media could maybe move beyond regulating itself.
Can I quickly respond?
I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak in a moment, but Dr. Mitole, your CV states here that you were a consultant for Bell Pottinger. So instead of lecturing the media on how to be objective, could you provide some insight into how media influence is bought and used?
Great stuff. Bell Pottinger is sitting on table number B. Let me respond quickly.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Yes, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. The media has been reporting. It has been reporting malfeasance in the economy, but it has been reporting exclusively on table B. It doesn't report what is happening on table A. Can I finish? So what I'm saying essentially is the media is being criticized because it doesn't cover the corruption and state capture that is perpetrated by the guys who own the economy. It is focused exclusively on the guys who are surviving on crumbs because they are sharing the crumbs that fall off from table A. These guys are being punished because they are sharing the crumbs. These guys have given a rule book to table B not to share the crumbs because capitalism survives on bias and manipulation. So the moment the guys on table B start stirring the crumbs with the journalists, the poor journalists who are here, then the media starts reporting. I stand in solidarity with the media there. Let me quickly say.
Solidarity with the media on that. Why are you criticizing the media and lecturing them on objectivity when you yourself accepted cash from a private interest to try and change the way South African society approaches issues?
I'll come to that.
No, I'm asking you a simple
question.
You should address it now.
I'll come to that. I'm standing in solidarity with the media. These guys own nothing. They are as hopeless and helpless as the guys sitting on table A. Gavin Watson and Agrizzi, they don't own anything. They can't influence the media. They can't influence the discourse. So the only thing they can do is to carry the crumbs that they're eating and share them with the poor journalists here. These journalists cannot do the bidding of the guys sitting on table B because these guys own nothing. They are paid by the guys sitting on table A to do the bidding of the guys sitting on table A. So why am I standing in solidarity with the media? It's because they are destitute. They are surviving on a minimum wage. And they cannot refuse a bribe coming from the Gavin Watsons of this world. I'll ask you a question. Nicholas, if I carried 600 million in my briefcase and brought it to you to write good stories portraying the work that I do, would you decline 600 million?
I would like to think that my conscience wouldn't allow me to do so. But please let me bring you in here, Mhlasi.
And you know what? I keep saying there's contradiction in what you're saying because in part you're saying that the Watsons and the Agrizzis can't influence the media, but the allegation at the state capture inquiry is that there was actually money that was set aside to actually pay the journalists to actually...
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So,
you cannot, you do not expect a bribe from the guys sitting on table A because they own you. You will only do the work of the guys on table B after receiving a bribe, because these guys don't own you.
I have worked for so many media houses.
Yes.
Different from a public, private. There has never been anybody who has come with a tip-off and said, here is corruption that is performed by the people that you're saying are on table A, and we have never actually done the story. I think that, you know, all of this is just based on, I don't know what you're getting your facts from, but I don't know of any information that any media house has rejected simply because of the table
Mr.
where people
Mitole,
are
I'm going to have to
sitting
press you on this question as we're running out of time. Is it not disingenuous of you to join this conversation based on the fact that you did accept money from a private interest that tried to sway the public discourse in South Africa?
I never accepted any money from
anyone. But
anyone.
it says in your CV you worked as a lead consultant for Bell.
I'm a leading expert on propaganda and counter-propaganda. And governments in Africa use me to crash on a discourse that aims to perpetuate a narrative of government corruption. Government corruption is not exclusively government corruption. Corruption is initiated by the guys sitting on table A who own the economy. Big business initiates corruption. Government cannot corrupt itself.
You get paid to discredit the media. That's what you're saying. You get paid to discredit the media.
I'm not discrediting the media. I'm shaping a discourse in this country where people who are illiterate have to understand that this is a power game. It is a game for top players. We cannot understand this unless we understand how the economy
we've run out of time. We've run out of time, so we're going to have to unfortunately leave that extremely engaging discussion there. Who's buying the media and how? Well, I'm sure that picture will become a little bit more blurred, perhaps slightly clearer as we approach elections, which is about 12 weeks away. On that note, why did the DA head of policy, Gwen Ngwenya, resign? And what does this say about the official opposition's unity ahead of those 2019 general elections?